Hi, this is a short video explaining how finger tables in CORD work. I'm going to use the example they have used in the paper where they introduced CORD. And so before we go into finger tables, let me take a brief moment to explain how consistent hashing is used and where keys are stored in the CORD protocol. So this is an example of a ring in CORD, and here the ring size is 8. So there are 8 nodes 0 to 7, and all the IP addresses of machines, like this is used in a context of a P2P protocol. So you have different IP addresses for machines and different keys for files. So if you have different IP addresses and they are mapped to a particular value between 0 and 7, suppose there are three nodes in this example. One is node number 0, one is node number 1, and the other is node number 3. And these are the three processors in this system. So now if you receive a file with the hash of 1, with the key hash to the value 1, then it's stored in what is called a successor of that key. So of the hash value actually. So successor of 1 is going to be 1 itself, because there is a node at location 1. Whereas successor of 2 will be 3, because there is no node at 2. The next available position is 3, so the successor of 2 will be 3. Similarly, the successor of 6 will be 0, because there is no node at 6 or 7. The next available location for key 6 is in node 0. So there is key 6 saved here, and there is key 1 saved here, and key 2 saved in 3. In the context of peer-to-peer systems, these numbers 6, 1 and 2 are files. So I'm going to use the term files in this case, but when this is applied to a different system, it could also be a key value pair. So there should be a mechanism to know for every node uh, which node contains the files, so which node contains what files, so that if there is a request for a particular file, it knows where to redirect that request. So for example, if one gets a request for the file hash to 6, it needs to know that 0 contains that file. So a way to do that would be you save all the nodes in the ring. So you know that you have 1, 3, and 0 on the ring. So if the file 6 comes, you know that successor of 6 is going to be 0. So you redirect that request to node 0. Another way to do that is just saving your neighbor's information. So, for example, in this case, because you have only three nodes, if you save both neighbors, it's equivalent to saving all the files. So let's say you're saving only the clockwise neighbor. So one knows only about three presence in the ring. So it tells 3 that, hey, I have a request for file 6. Then 3 says, okay, my neighbor is 0. So 0 must have the file. So I'm going to redirect the request to that node. Both these systems have to trade off between the size of the routing tables and the speed of lookup. So if you had the system where you had all the keys, all the nodes saved, then the lookup would be very fast, but the routing table would be huge. Whereas if you saved only the neighbors, the routing table is small, but the lookup time is large. So then they came up with the concept of finger table. In a finger table, you don't save all the entire routing information. You save only certain positions in the ring. So let's see the example they have used in the paper, which is this. A finger table simply stores the information about which node contains the file that is hashed to my node number plus 2 to the I. 2 to the ith power. So in case of node 1, it tries to figure out who will have a node, who will have a file whose key is hash to value 1 plus 2 to the power 0, 1 plus 2 to the power 1 and 1 plus 2 to the power 2. Because there are only 8 values in this ring, it needs to store only 3 entries. So in this case, one has to store the information about who is the successor of a key mapped to value 2, value 3 and value 5, because those are points that are 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1 and 2 to the power 2 away from this node. So here it stores the information that the successor of this key will be 3, because 2 successor is 3, and the node that contains a value a key hash to value 3 is 3 itself, and for 3 and for 5, that is 1 plus 4, the node containing the file would be 0. In case of 3, it would store information about 4, 5 and 7, because it is 3 plus 1, 3 plus 2 and 3 plus 4. And same thing for node 0. So with these M entries, let's see what happens when you actually receive a request for a particular file. So in case of node 1, let's say it receives a request for key 6. Now it will look in the finger table. In which interval does 6 lie? It lies between 5 and 1. So it has to then look up the entry for 5, and then it sees that 5's successor is 0. So it just redirects the entry directly to 0. So here it could do that. It could do the redirection within one step. Now if 3 receives the request for key 1, then it notices that 1 lies between 7 and 3. So it looks up the finger table entry corresponding to 7. It knows that the successor of 7 is 0. So it redirects the request to 0. But 0 doesn't have this key. So it looks up where else 1 could be. 1 would lie between 0 and 1 in this case. So it looks up in its own finger table for the key corresponding to value 1, and it sees that the successor of 1 is 1 itself. So it redirects the request to 1. So in this case, you had to do multiple hops. 3 sent the request to 0 and 0 in turn sent the request to 1. So this is how a finger table works in this very small example. In reality, the ring sizes would be much larger, and the finger tables would be, the advantage of using a finger table would be much more apparent in those cases. I hope this video helps in your understanding of finger tables. Bye.